Uh, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now we'll talk about some shapes of functions. We want to find the first derivative of them and some problems about or some question about them. Now the first example, which is if f of x equals x power 3 plus 13x plus 5 over x minus 4 over x power 2, find the first question about it, find f dash of x, the first derivative of this function. Now we remember together how we get the function of the function like this. It consists of some terms. We find the first derivative of each term alone. Like this. We started with the first term, x power 3. F dash will be equals the first derivative of the first term, x power 3, will be 3x power 2. And the second term, 13x, will be equals 13x power 0. So we didn't write x because its differentiation will be 1. Plus 5 over x. We know that 5 over x, meaning that x we put it in the numerator by negative power, will be 5x power negative 1. This term will be 5x power negative 1. So how we get the first derivative to it? We multiply the power by 5, will be negative 5, and we put x to the power negative 1 minus 1 will be negative 2. And the fourth term of this function, we put it in the form 4x power negative 2, like we do it before. Then we find the first derivative of this term by multiply the power by 4. This is negative 4 times negative 2 will be positive 8. And we put x to the power negative 2 minus 1 will be negative 3. We keep it as it is? No, we must remove the power negative by change the place of the term in the numerator. We put it in the denominator. So the f dash of x, the simplest form of it will be 3x power 2 plus 13 minus 5 over x power 2 plus 8 over x power 3. Okay? Let's go to the second question about this problem. We must find the slope of the tangent to the curve f at the point 2 and 1. We notice that the slope, like we do it before, which meaning the first derivative. So we must find the first derivative at the first, then we put, instead of all x, the value of x in this coordinate. We find the first derivative in the first step, which is f dash of x equals 3x power 2 plus 13 minus 5 over x power 2 plus 8 over x power 3. Now I want to find the slope. So we find the value of the first derivative after we substitute by the value of x with 2. 2 in the coordinate of the point he asked about it. We put, instead of all x, we put 2. So we find f dash of 2 equals 3. Instead of x, we put 2 power 2 plus 13 minus 5 over 2 power 2 plus 8 over 2 power 3. So the final result of the slope will be 99 over 4. Okay? Let's go to the third question about this example. Find the angle of an inclination of the tangent to the curve at the point 1 and negative 1. What's the meaning of the angle of an inclination? Meaning that the angle which make it to this tangent to the positive direction of x-axis or the horizontal line. How we get it? We know that tan theta, this is the angle theta he asked about it, equals slope of the tangent. Okay? Now we know the slope of the tangent, which we get it in the previous question, which is equals 99/4. Now we know that tan theta equals 99/4. How we get the theta? We take it before. If I want to find the angle, we make shift tan to this value. So theta will be equals shift tan to the 99/4 will be equals 86 degree, 59 minute and 13.9 seconds. So we get the angle, the measure of the angle. Let's go to another example, which is prove that the tangent to the curve y equal x squared minus 5x plus 7 at the point 2 and 1 makes with the positive direction of x-axis an angle of measure 3 pi over 4. What is the meaning of the angle equals 3 pi over 4? We know that the pi in the degrees equals 180 degree. He asked me to prove that the angle will be the angle theta, like we do it in the previous problem, theta will be equals 3 pi over 4. So if I want to find the angle, we must find the slope. If I want to find the slope, we must find the first derivative of the function of the curve. Y equals x squared minus 5x plus 7. So we find the first derivative of this function like we do it before. Y dash will be equals the first derivative of each term alone. X squared, its derivative will be 2x. The first derivative of the second term, negative 5x, will be negative 5. So the first derivative or the function of the curve will be 2x minus 5. This is the first step. The second step, we find the slope. Slope equal, this is the first derivative by substitution by the value of x. Instead of all x, we put the x of the point, which is 2. So we find the slope, which is dy by dx at x equals 2. This is the form of the derivative at the point x equal 2. This will be equal 2 times 2 minus 5 will be equal negative 1. This is the second step. The third step, we find the angle which makes this tangent with the positive direction of x-axis. Theta will be equals shift tan of the slope, which is dy by dx at x equal 2, which is equals negative 1. Shift tan the negative 1 will be equals 135 degree on the calculator, which is equal 3 pi over 4. So this is the provement of this question. Another example, find the coordinates of the points on the curve y equal to x power 3 minus 3x squared minus 8x plus 8 at which the slope of the tangent to the curve of y equals 4. The slope of the tangent to the curve of y equals 4. So, if he asked me to find the slope, we must find the first derivative of the curve of the function of the curve, which is y. Since y equals 2x power 3 minus 3x power 2 minus 8x plus 7, so we can find its derivative, the first derivative, dy by dx. How we get it? We get the first derivative of each term alone. 2x power 3 will be 6x power 2. The second derivative of the second term, negative 6x. The derivative of the third term is negative 8. This is the first step. So we get the slope of these functions, which is the slope is equals 4. So we put this equation, 6x squared minus 6x minus 8 will be equals 4. And we have us solving this equation to find the value of x. How we solve it? We take the like terms in the same side of the equation, like 4 and 8. So we put this equation in the form 6x power 2 minus 6x minus 12 equals 0. Because we take a 4 in this side with the 8 will be negative 4. Negative 8 plus negative 4 will be negative 12. This equation called the trinomial equals 0. We must find the factorization of this equation to find the value of x. So factorized by 2 brackets equals 0, x and x. We factorized by divided by x, divided with this equation by 6 to make it easier. How we get it by easier way? We divided all terms of this equation by 6. It will be x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. So we can factorize by easier way like this. We put x in the 2 brackets, x and the two numbers, the multiply of them equals 2, 2 and 1, and we put the sign negative 2 and positive 1 because we have the middle term is negative, so the greatest one will be negative. From these 2 brackets, we notice that x will be 2 or x will be equals negative 1. We now find the values of the x. We have 2 values of x, so we can find 2 values of y. How we get the values of y? Because he asked me to find the points. He asked me to find the points, not the values of x. So we must find the value of y. How we get it? By substitute in the first equation of the curve number 1, which is this equation, y equal 2x power 3 minus 3x squared minus 8x plus 7. So I put the 2 values of x in these 2 values of x, put it inside the equation number 1 to find the 2 values of y. So y will be negative 5 if I put x equal 2, and y will be equals 10 if I put x equal negative 1 in this equation. So the 2 points, the points are the first point 2 and negative 5, and the other will be negative 1 and 10. So we find the 2 points with on the curve, which is the slope of the tangent to this curve equals 4. Another question about this lesson, question 4. Find the points on the curve y equal x power 2 minus 4x plus 3 at which the tangent is parallel to x-axis. What is the meaning of parallel to x-axis? Meaning that the slope of this tangent will be equal 0. So the first step, we find the first derivative of this function of the curve. Since y equal x squared minus 4x plus 3, so we can find y dash or dy by dx, which is 2x minus 4. This is the first step. Then, if I know that the tangent is parallel to x-axis, meaning that the slope will be equal 0. What is the slope? The slope is y dash equal to x minus 4. This is the slope, m. We know that the tangent parallel to x-axis, meaning that therefore dy by dx, which is y dash, will be equal 0. So I put this equation equal 0 to find the value of x. So 2x minus 4 equals 0. How to solve this equation? This is first degree equation. We put the 4 in the other side. So 2x will be 4. And divided by 2, both sides of the equations, x equal be 2. Then I find the value of x. He asked me to find the point. The point, meaning we must find the value of y. So I take x and put it in which equation? Y equals, yes, this is the first equation. Y is equal to find the value of y. Y equal, instead of x we put 2. 2 power 2 minus 4 times 2 plus 3 will be equal -1. So the point will be x2 and y is -1. Let's talk about another type of question. Example 5. Find the slope of the tangent to the curve y equal x squared minus 5x plus 4 at each point of the points of intersection of the curve with the x-axis. He asked me to find the slope. Okay? Which the curve of the tangent, which of the curve at each point of the intersection of the curve with x-axis. What is the meaning of the intersection with the x-axis? We know that any point on the x-axis, the coordinates of it, y coordinate of it, will be equal 0. So put x equal 0. Okay? Any point belong to x-axis, meaning that intersection with the x-axis, meaning that y equals 0, not an x. Any point belong to y-axis, meaning that the y-axis, meaning that an x equals 0. Okay. We now have y equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. Okay? Type. Okay, if we have y equals 0, meaning that this equation x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0. So we can find the solution of this equation by factorizing it into 2 brackets equals 0, x minus 4 and x minus 1. We find that the value of x in the first bracket will be 4, or x will be equals 1 from the second bracket. Okay, then the 2 points will be, who can tell me? The points will be 4 and 0 and 1 and 0. Why you put 0 in the points? Because we know that this point intersected with the x-axis, meaning that y will be equal 0. Okay, now he asked me to find the slope of the tangent at these 2 points. So we must find y dash. Y dash will be 2x minus 5. Then, by substitution by the value of x of these 2 points in this equation, we will find the slope of this tangent at these 2 points. Then, dy by dx at x equal 4 will be 3. And dy by dx, the first derivative of the tangent at x equal 1 will be equal -3. So he asked me to find the slope of the tangent to the curve. So we must find the first derivative of the equation of the curve. Then at the 2 points with the intersection with the curve of x-axis, intersection point of the curve with the x-axis, meaning that y equals 0. So we must find the points at the first, then we find the first derivative at x of these 2 points. Okay? Let's see another idea or another example. Find the equation of the tangent to the curve y equal 2x power 3 minus x plus 1 at the point 1 and 2. He asked me to find the equation to the tangent to the curve. Okay, let's see. Do you remember the equation of any straight line, the form of the equation y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is the form of the general form of any equation. So we can find the slope of this straight line and the point which is x1 and y1 which is given in the problem. So we must find the slope at the first. How we get the slope? First, we find the first derivative of the equation of the curve, which is y equals 2x power 3 minus x plus 1. How we get the first derivative? dy by dx equals 6x power 2 minus 1. How we get the value of the slope? By substitution the value of x, which is 1, instead of all x in the first derivative. So dy by dx at x equals 1 will be equals 5. So the slope equals 5. How we find the equation? By substitution in the general form of the equation of straight line, which is y minus the y of the point, which is 2, y of the point, which is 2, y minus 2 equals 5, which is the slope, time x minus the x of the point, which is 1. By simplifying this equation, will be y minus 2 equals 5x minus 5, and we take the all terms of the equation in one side, will be y minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. This is the equation which he asked me to find it, of the tangent. Now the part of these equations can be these equations of the tangent, and another form of the equation he asked about it, the equation of the normal to the curve. What is the meaning of the normal? Normal meaning orthogonal or perpendicular. Meaning perpendicular. We know the information about the two perpendicular straight line, which is their slopes multiplying of their each other equals -1. M1 times M2 will be equals -1. So we must find the slope of the first equation, which is, we take it in the first example, the first part of the example, which is 5. M1 of the tangent will be equal 5. So M2 of the orthogonal or its normal equals -1 over 5. Okay? Now we form the equation by taking the general form of the equation of straight line, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We take the slope m. Which one of them? 5 or -1 over 5? We take -1 over 5. Why? Because I ask about the equation which is normal to the curve. Normal which is perpendicular to the tangent. Okay? The slope of it is -1 over 5. Y minus 2, what about 2? 2 is the y coordinate of the point, like we take it in this example. Equals, the slope is -1 over 5 times x minus the x of the point is 1. We're simplifying this equation by multiplying by 5 all terms of the equation. So 5y minus 10 will be equals -x minus plus 1. -1 times x, -1 times -1 will be +1. So the equations will be the simplest form, 5y plus x minus 9 will be equal 0. This is the equation of the normal straight line to the curve. Thank you.